come on, Kerala. Come on, Kerala.
Assalamu alaikum. Let me first apologize. I am in, Dr. Ali Faisal was supposed to put this slide on behalf of Meitra, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. So I am taking his place. And if at all any things are there, please apologize for that. It's about the healthcare. The reason being, the Meitra is the newly opened hospital in Calicut with a new perspective. And then we wanted to take, something, different about it. So you all know that Kerala has a history of, the healthcare to be on the development area compared to any other states in Kerala, due to the basic reason that, it started off with the old Travancore Rajas, they had a history of, giving good service to the people. We also had, subsequent to that, the formation of Kerala, there's a lot of trust given from the government, and we had, the medical colleges in different parts of the state, which has helped a lot in developing a good healthcare system in Kerala. So we say, the Kerala model of healthcare, predominantly for the reason that, the most of the health indices of Kerala compared to any other state in India was at a very advanced stage. But subsequent to the, the developments, the government spend on the healthcare started coming down. And when you compare on the GDP point, it was a mere 1.2% of the GDP compared to, the developed places where, it is even to the extent of more than 10 to 12%. So we started, going down on the deliverable of healthcare in the state of Kerala, and then it started, getting into the private sector, and then the development started on that. The other aspect of, on the healthcare point of view, we also had the advantage, it started off with the Christian missionary setup, a lot of healthcare facility on the primary side especially, and also on the other areas of, the developments on the underdeveloped areas, was due to the reason that the Christian missionaries were supporting it. And subsequent to that, we have seen mostly, the doctor-driven hospitals coming up. So everybody who is there with the services, when they come out of the government service, they start their own small hospitals, and it started picking up all over the state. After that, we started getting into the developments, the larger hospitals started coming in with the advent of, the money which is coming from the, the NRIs. And then, we started developing larger and larger hospitals in Kerala. See, that is how, the evolution of, the hospitals started development in Kerala. And predominantly with the wealth of, the NRI money coming in, we started getting into larger and larger hospitals. That's the reason, even now today, see, many hospitals are promoted by the, the NRIs which have come back to Kerala and then started putting in. So this is, this is the background on the way how, the Kerala has developed to this level with respect to the private healthcare initiative. Now, see, going into the next level of, how it can be, propagated for the business point of view, see, that was the basic topic given to us, being, it's a business enclave, and most of the people who wanted to look into the healthcare sector on the Kerala perspective. So what are Kerala's strength in this regard? See, as we already know, because of the medical education which has been stronger from the government medical colleges point of view, quite a large number of, doctors were available within Kerala, and that has helped to see that, this is taking, good shape. Then, you all know, Kerala had an inherent strength with respect to the nursing, availability, and which has again contributed to the reason that, it has been supported by the Christian missionaries predominantly, and most of the people, took it as an employment opportunity for them to go to, abroad, especially, at that point of time, there were quite a large number of people going, on the Christian side, to places like Germany even, to get employed as nurses. And when compared to any other state within Kerala or within India, Kerala had a, basic infrastructure suitable to that, and with the roads and other things which are happening, so it was also a plus point when it comes into the deliverable as a healthcare destination. So, as I already mentioned, this medical education and the advent of the government medical colleges, when the doctors come out after their retirement, they used to serve very good on that, and then that's how it got developed into this. This I have already touched upon, the nurses, how it has been shaped up because of the support of the, Christian missionaries, and, see, they have been doing very well, and that's how this development has happened on that. This is one important aspect which we wanted to say, when you go into the advent of, the healthcare, and then most of this, especially from the Middle East countries, they talk about moving to places like Bangkok, or even to places like Germany, because of the reason that, that expertise is there, and then they can afford to have the money spent on that. So this is the reason, that most of the people who are coming from, or who have been sent from Middle East by the support of the government, they move to places like Germany or to Bangkok, where the costs are very high, but still, the government had that affordability. Today, the things are getting changed. The budget restrictions are there. Most of the, the governments in the Middle East has started cutting down on this, and then they are looking at, the areas where they will be able to get the same level of an treatment with affordable costs. So there, the Kerala is standing a huge opportunity, because, as we have already understood yesterday, in the inaugural seminar, it was told, how the earlier, the people who have come into the Middle East has brought in an element of trust that, the people of Malabar could deliver. So this is one area, that if we wanted to sell, the Kerala as a medical destination, we should be able to penetrate that market for the advantage of, the development of Kerala as a medical destination. And the cost, when compared to any other developed countries, it is much less. See, we have even seen some of the cardiology procedures and all is almost 10 times lesser than what it is available in Germany, or even the same level of treatments which are there. And with all the technological developments, we'll be able to cater to the same in Kerala also, almost 1/10 of the cost. The other advantage is, see, by doing so, the Kerala as a destination or Kerala as a state is getting marketed. That is one add-on, which comes along with that. So we have started looking in, with larger facilities to be there, and see, we started looking cater to the requirements of the global people, who look at the accreditation as one of the major areas. See, you would have heard of JCI approvals or NABH approved hospitals. So today, in Kerala, we have 3 JCI approved hospitals. Our hospital is also in the process of getting that JCI approved. Now, the NABH has become very common because of the standards and the level of services which are available there. So we have almost 31 NABH approved hospitals within Kerala itself. If you really look at what are the challenges, which are there for the private health sector to develop within Kerala, predominantly, see, we can say that there are no definite guidelines which has been put forth by the government. See, you see a lot of, restrictions happening. We had very recently, even from the central government point of view, the price caps on various the consumables which we can use within the hospitals. So, which is a big deterrent because most of the higher end implants and all which are available globally, because of the restrictions which are put forth by the governments, we are not able to use it. So this is one of the larger challenges which we are facing. And then if you wanted to use it, then people don't have any other alternative, but they need to go elsewhere and then get the procedure done, because it is restricted within the Indian context. Now, if you look at the local government, which is the Kerala government again, so you would have heard of the recent revision of Minimum Wages Act with respect to the the nursing sector. So that is one among the bigger challenges which, as private hospitals owners which we are facing, because it is to the extent of we are talking about 140% of the existing salary levels, which is going to be a huge burden on the hospitals, because if you really see, predominant cost on the hospitals, if you see an analysis, it is on the fee on the doctors as well as the salaries on the doctors and also the paramedical staff, including the nursing. Plus, the costs which are related to the, the power and other things, which again, the government has got a lot of problems, because even today, I don't know whether you are aware that, see, hospitals as a service is not recognized as a, the industry. So we don't get any, type of protection or concessions with respect to the how we are paying the electricity charges and all, which is according to the commercial rates. But as an industry, they get a lot of concessions vis-a-vis, the hospitals. So this is what I meant, when we get the, we don't get that definite guidelines and the support generally which we are expecting from the government. Now the other important, see, the aspect is the trust deficit, which normally, which people talk about when you go into the, the corporate hospital point of view. So there is the one which, also has the deterrent, people always tend to see that, whether the hospitals are only for the profit, whereas in reality, it is not so. See, based on our experiences on the context of, the Meitra point, see, one of the major areas, what we are looking at is, and the reason behind, why we wanted to get into the hospital to be there in Calicut is, that we are looking at taking this healthcare sector in a different approach, what we can deliver. So if you really see, that's what I wanted to explain this more, because one of the major challenges which we look at is the negative perception about a corporate hospital. So we at Meitra wanted to ensure that that we are delivering a separate or a different product for the requirement of the patient-centric approach, which we have already explained to you yesterday. That's what we are aiming at. And the people behind, so we have Dr. Ali Faisal, who has been there almost the last 20 years in the heart and cardiology areas. We have a group of doctors which has been together, working and practicing within Kerala, delivering extraordinary services with respect to the healthcare. We have, Faisal, who is here, who is able to give us a lot of inputs with respect to the innovation and the marketing which we can use. We have the backing and the support of PK as a family, who have built a strong trust factor among different stakeholders in the state with respect to the way how we look at business and how we connect with the social sector. And then we wanted to give that as a package where the patient is going to get the entire benefit of that. And that's the basic reason that we thought that we need to place Meitra in a different way in Calicut. So we have already talked about that. We don't want it to give too much self-boosting talk about this. But in reality, we are talking about different patient experiences when you come to Meitra, and we wanted you people to experience it and then be constructively critical about the way how we need to improve on that. The other important, the challenges for the private healthcare sector in Kerala is, you all know, the Kerala is not developed as a destination for industries or large corporates. And many areas outside, they take that, the corporate people to be one of the major, the revenue streams for the hospital. So we have a lack of corporate and other clients within Kerala. These are the, the future, the concerns which the private healthcare people can think about when you talk in context on the Kerala point of view. But in spite of all these challenges, we do find a hope that, we will be able to, provide, because as it is, the general awareness about, maintaining a good preventive health care or the preventive health checkups within the Kerala people are very much on the higher side. We also see that, that the more and more, the private sector people are interested to invest in healthcare because, Kerala has got an inherent marketing capability as a destination for Ayurveda. So if you really look at it, what we are also looking to capitalize is, that if it can be promoted as a medical value destination for even for these type of higher end medical care with respect to cardiology, ortho, neuro levels, we should be able to tap a very huge market from people from outside. And then that's the thing which we wanted to challenge, which we wanted to work on. So we are seeing a great potential, especially from countries from GCC, Africa, and even some of the European countries where the healthcare sector is facing a lot of challenges. Because today even in Britain, what they call it as the NHS is having trouble because they have to wait a longer period to get certain of the the procedures done. So Meitra is looking at the opportunity of even trying to get some patients from UK also for some of the procedures. So I think these are all some of the thought processes which we wanted to do, and we also see that there are a lot of opportunities with respect to all these things. Most of the people who are here who wanted to be the budding entrepreneurs, they can look at the opportunities in the sectors technology, app developments with respect to the specific patient care which can be increased. There is a huge potential for that. We talk about tomorrow, the things can go into the different areas. If you really see how the technology is shaping up in the healthcare sector is, with artificial intelligence and many other, the machine learning processes, a lot of these mundane testing processes and all can be converted into robotics, and which, by virtue of which you will be able to concentrate on the, the patient care alone. So today, even in our hospital, we have made it as a, paperless hospital. We have made most of the ICUs and things like that fully technology driven, in the sense the nurses need not care about making any, all the vitals and all has to be continuously written and then lodged. It goes automatically to the server. So they can go into the direct care of the patient to be provided. So they can concentrate on those areas. So that is where we wanted to look at it. we wanted to see that every area the apps are introduced so that all those billing everything can come automatically onto the screen so that they don't need to waste any time making the settlement for the the bills and all. Today we have established that our turnaround time for a discharge is hardly around close to 2 hours, which we wanted to again reduce it to 90 minutes. So there are a lot of opportunities for the younger people who are techno savvy to get into most of these type of things, and that is opportunities which you people can tap on those. So with this small slide presentations, I would like to thank Madhyamam for the the opportunity provided, and also giving opportunities for all the budding people who have come here on the business summit to look at opportunities moving forward on the healthcare. So thank you very much.